Hi there. I wonder if you would like to check with me the following sentences, whether they are simple, compound, or complex sentences. So, let's start. Number 1. Jane gave up. Number 2. Jane gave up smoking forever. Number 3. To everybody's surprise, Jane gave up smoking forever. Number 4. Developing a serious lung disease, Jane gave up smoking forever. Number 5. Without knowing the truth, Jane gave up smoking forever. Number 6. Abandoned by her parents and close friends, Jane gave up smoking forever. So, which of which is simple, compound, or complex sentence? Actually, all of these 6 structures are simple sentences. So if you'd like to know more, without any further ado, let's get started. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, ever merciful. Hello everyone, nice to meet you again and welcome to the second lecture and the easiest course to teach the most difficult English grammar. I remind you with the different ways of defining the sentence in English grammar. And I said last lecture that the sentence in English grammar could be defined into different ways. The first definition is the notional definition. And according to that notional definition, the sentence is a group of words that express a complete thought. And we said that this definition is unreliable. Unreliable from 2 different perspectives. The first one, when we consider the idea of complete thought, we might not achieve that complete thought unless I have the entire discourse. On the other hand, I could achieve that complete thought with what couldn't be structurally considered a sentence, like a word like yes or no or Jack as answer for the questions, do you speak Arabic? Yes. Do you know Jacqueline? No. What's her brother's name? Jack. Or an expression like bullshit. Once bitten, twice shy. All these structures, according to the grammarians, could not be considered a sentence. However, it is considered a complete meaning or a complete thought. And that's why we should search for a new definition of the sentence in English grammar. So we go for the formal definition of the sentence. The formal definition of the sentence in English grammar as following. The sentence is an independent grammatical unit which composed of at least one clause. When we come to the idea of a clause, we should know what is the meaning of the clause. Or what does clause mean? The clause in English grammar means a grammatical unit which has a subject and a finite verb that agrees with that subject in number and person. So, once again, I come to the idea of finite verb. What's the meaning of finite verb? The finite verb is the verb that carries a tense. How? As you know, the English grammar tenses are known to be 12 tenses. And these 12 tenses are the outcome of multiplying the 3 times that we live, which is either past, present, or future in the 4 cases. So if I multiply the 3 times that every one of us live, which is either past, present, or future, in 4 cases, which is supposed to be simple, progressive, or continuous, perfect, or perfect progressive. So these 4 cases multiplied in the 3 times that we live is the outcome of the 12 tenses in English language. So I have the past, which is either past simple, past progressive, past perfect, and past perfect progressive. The present, present simple, present progressive, present perfect, and present perfect progressive. The future, future simple, future progressive, future perfect, or future perfect progressive. However, when we come to classifying the verbs of English according to the idea of conjugation, we achieve the conclusion that the total number of English verbs could be either modals or non-modals. How? They are either modals, which is have at least 1 or at most 2 conjugations. Well, would, 2 conjugations. Shall, should, 2 conjugations. Can, could, 2 conjugations. May, might, 2 conjugations. Must, ought, used, dare, need, 1 conjugation. Whether, 1 conjugation. Whether in the past, ought, used, or whether in the present, must, dare, need. So these are the modals. So if we go to the rest verbs of English language, they are either regularly or irregularly conjugated into 5 conjugations. Out of these 5 conjugations, I have 2 finite verbs, which is supposed to be the present simple and the past simple. So what are these 5 conjugations? The infinitive, present simple, present participle, past simple, and past participle. So if I go to the infinitive, this is non-finite verb. Present simple tense, this is a finite verb. Present participle, non-finite verb. Past simple tense, finite verb. Past participle, non-finite verb. So out of these 5 conjugations of every completely conjugated verb in English, whether it is regularly, like play, for example, to play, play, playing, played, played, or irregularly conjugated, like to speak, speak, speaking, spoke, spoken. So whether it is regularly, or irregularly conjugated, out of each 5 conjugations, I have 2 conjugations, which is finite verb. and the rest, which is supposed to be the three, the infinitive, the present participle, and the past participle, are non-finite verbs. What does it mean? This means that by the same token of defining the clause into a grammatical unit which has a subject and a finite verb that agrees with its subject in number and person, by the same token I define the word or phrase into a word or a group of words which has no verb at all or has a non-finite verb. This is to say, has a infinitive verb or a present participle verb or past participle verb or a group of words which has no verbs at all. Okay, that's right. So, according to that formal definition of a sentence, I have the famous classification of a sentence into a symbol when it comes to be a synonym for the one clause. Because a symbol sentence is a one clause sentence. That's to say, it is only one clause sentence. What does it mean? It means that in this sentence, I have only one subject and only one finite verb, however the length of a sentence is. That's to say, however the sentence is too long, it's still a symbol sentence. And I'll give you some examples to teach you the right way of judging a symbol sentence. So let's check the following examples. Jane gave up. This is a symbol sentence. Why? Because it is composed of one clause. This clause is composed of a subject, Jane, and a finite verb, which is gave up. This finite verb carries the tense of past simple tense. Another example. Jane gave up smoking. This is a simple sentence. Why? Because there is no more than the same element of the one clause. However, I have an extra element which is supposed to be the object or the direct object of smoking. So I have an extra word, yet still I have the same component of the symbol sentence. One clause, one subject, one finite verb. Okay, another example. Jane gave up smoking forever. Is still a simple sentence. Why? Because now we have a subject, a finite verb, an object, an adverb. And of course, the object and the adverb has no influence upon the idea of the one clause. Another example. Without knowing the truth, Jane gave up smoking forever. We are still with the simple sentence. So these sentence modifiers, without knowing the truth, this modifies the whole sentence and at the same time has no effect upon the structure of the one clause. Another example. To satisfy her parents, Jane gave up smoking forever. Still a simple sentence because we have two verbs, but one of them is non-finite, the infinitive. So only we consider the non-finite verb as not found, not existed, because according to the number of the finite verb, I consider the simplicity of this sentence. So still we have one finite verb, one subject. This means that it is a simple sentence. To everybody's surprise, Jane gave up smoking forever. So still we have simple sentence. Because we are still having just only one finite verb, one subject. Developing a serious lung disease, Jane gave up smoking forever. Still one sentence. Even we have the present participle. So that is present participle. It's not a finite verb. So we till now have only one finite verb, one subject, and that's to say we have one simple sentence. Abandoned by her parents and close friends, Jane gave up smoking forever. Also, we still have the same simple sentence because that's what could be achieved out of these lengthy sentence. Only one subject, only one finite verb. So these old structures, however, its length does not affect the idea of the simplicity of a sentence, which mainly centers or hung upon the one clause, that's to say one simple sentence. That's enough for today. If you found this video helpful, never forget to drop a like, to share the video to help others, and to press the notification bell and stay tuned to get everything new. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.